Hi, welcome to my complete guide on Feixiao. Feixiao is our newest character coming to Honkai Stereo in version 2.5. Our beautiful blue-eyed general is looking like quite the menace in single target, with some even calling her the Acheron of single target, which also tends to be who she is compared to a lot. In this video, I'll be going through everything you need to know on how to build and play Feixiao, covering her best Lycorns, relic sets, Planar ornaments, teams, and many more. Before we start, I'll be giving away a supply pass / welcome in / crystal card to my subscribers at 6k subs, so make sure you subscribe to enter. Let's start off with what does Feixiao actually do. Feixiao is a wind unit following the path of the hunt. Feixiao's skill, War Axe, deals single target damage and launches the talent's follow-up attack. Feixiao's ultimate, Terra Split, makes her into her ultimate state similar to Acheron, but this time you can only attack the chosen target and you have the choice between 2 attacks for 6 times. The first being Bolt Thunder Blitz, which deals single target damage and is improved against weakness broken enemies. The second being War Axe Skyward, which also deals single target damage but is improved against non-weakness broken enemies this time, and there's an extra hit at the end as well. Feixiao's talent, Thunder Hunt, makes the ultimate work similar to Acheron's, where instead of the usual energy, it uses a point system. This time, however, you gain a point for every 2 attacks any ally uses, except from her own ultimate. Her ultimate costs 6 points, but can hold up to 12. Additionally, she also launches a follow-up attack whenever a teammate attacks the enemy, resetting when she has a turn similar to Kafka. This follow-up attack will also increase the damage dealt as well. Feixiao's technique, Stormborn, essentially just increases the speed, magnets enemies, and grants her 1 stack of her ultimate. Additionally, it also deals damage to all enemies at the start of each wave, with the damage increased by the amount of enemies pulled in by the technique, and it always crits. Moving on to her bonus trace abilities. Bolt Catch increases attack whenever she uses her skill. Foam Shift makes her ultimate count as a follow-up attack, while also increasing damage dealt by follow-up attacks. And Heaven Path, which grants her 3 points of her ultimate at the start of the battle, and also grants 1 ultimate stack if her talent's follow-up attack was not used. For Feixiao's trace leveling priorities, you want to be focusing on your ultimate, then talent, then the rest. And for stat bonuses, you get a decent amount of attack and crit rate with some defense as well. Overall, Feixiao has a very complicated kit, even topping the likes of Acheron, since she also has parts of her kit which are also similar to other units on top of her Acheron-like ultimate, which makes her have quite the Frankenstein of a kit, as we see Acheron's ultimate, Dr. Ratio's skill, and Kafka's follow-up attack. But all of them have a twist to them, which is what truly makes Feixiao unique. As for how to actually play her, contrary to what some of you may believe, it is actually not as simple as spam skill and ult whenever you can. The additional storage of her ultimate points and her follow-up attack giving damage increase means that you should hold on to your ultimate as long as you can to gain all the buffs your team can give you. For example, if you take a look at a team with Adventuring, Topaz, and Robin, if possible, you want to make sure your Adventuring has ult to the target, Topaz has a talent marked on the target, and Robin has a skill on and is in her ultimate state, while also making sure you have launched Feixiao's own skill and follow-up attack to gain the maximum buffs available. Now of course, Feixiao will still be a brilliant unit if you decide to just autopilot and skill spam / ult spam, but since she has the ability to hold onto her ultimate without drawbacks, we may as well use it. And additionally, Feixiao also has 2 attacks to choose in her ultimate state. One does more damage against weakness broken enemies, and one does more against non-weakness broken enemies. Just make sure you choose the right one, as a 30% damage increase is pretty meaningful. Now for how to actually build Feixiao. We begin with Feixiao's best Lycorns. No doubt her best in slot will be her signature Lycorn, I venture forth to hunt. This increases crit rate, while also making her ultimate ignore defense depending on follow-up attacks. Pretty obviously, this is insane on her, as she can have basically a permanent uptime on the defense ignore buff, while also having her main damage source being buffed as well. However, I do also want to mention Ratio's Lycorn, as that is actually pretty close to Feixiao's signature if there are consistent debuffs. Aside from that, other 5-star Lycorns will perform decently as well. And as for free to play, Stellar Seeds will be your best option, then Swordplay or Final Victor. Next up is Feixiao's best relic sets and Planar Ornaments. For a best relic set, her best in slot will be the Winged Story Valorous set, as the damage is mainly from her ultimate while also having plenty of follow-up attacks, which this set is perfectly made for. Alternatives will be Ash Blazing, as she is a follow-up attack focused unit, and actually Pioneer being really good too if you have enough debuffs from your team. Otherwise, 2-piece of any one of these sets will be decent too. For Planar Ornaments, her best in slot will be Duran. Feixiao can stack it up pretty fast herself, but since you are most likely running her with other follow-up attackers, it will essentially be just a free 25% damage dealt increase and a 25% crit damage. Other than that, since she is a very fast unit and wants to be built fast too, Firmament Frontline will be a decent option too. But that being said, Ines Asaldo is actually a really decent option on her as well. Moving on to Feixiao's best Relic and Planar stats. For the main stats, we are looking at a traditional DPS stats set: crit body, speed boots, wind/attack balls, and attack rope. For the body, as per usual, going crit rate or crit damage depending on which one you need more is ideal. For the boots, speed is generally more recommended as you really get an abundance of attack through her major traits and bonus stats. But if you have really good substats on attack boots, it will be a good option too. For the balls, wind bonus and attack actually perform quite similar due to also getting an abundance of damage percentages in her kit too, so going by substats is recommended as well. And for rope, it is attack, as energy regen literally doesn't work on her. But break effect on a super break team with Harmony MC can be considered if you want to have some fun. For substats, focusing on a good speed, so 134 plus and honestly 162, as you only need 23 speed substats with speed boots, and that makes for a good damage increase as well. And of course, getting a good crit ratio with some attack will be nice as per tradition. Now we have Feixiao's best Eidolons. E1 ramps her damage more and more during her ultimate, which is decent. E2 makes her ultimate come online even faster, which is always nice. E3 and 5 are just trace levels. E4 is actually a nice team-wide buff to help your team's total DPS, and E6 is an insane damage steroid, but it is to be expected for E6. Overall, her Eidolons do seem a bit weaker than someone like Acheron, but they are still not too bad overall. Stopping at E1 or 2 is ideal if you're planning to go for some, but at E0, she's already a really good unit. And for the age-old question of E1 versus S1, this time it will be S1, and by a good amount, as E1 is nice, but the crit rate and defense in Noir, which is one of the best buffs in the game, cannot be understated. Finally, we get to Feixiao's best teammates and teams. First off, I want to mention Robin as being one of, if not her best teammate in every situation. To put it simply, the more often a character attacks, the stronger Robin becomes, and boy does Feixiao attack a lot. And of course, the IPC members will be insane with her as well, as they all focus on follow-up attacks, which has perfect synergy with Feixiao. So for our best team, we're looking at something like this with Topaz, Robin, and Aventurine. However, this team comp, which consists of herself, follow-up attack sub DPS, buffer, and sustain, is actually a structure that can be followed with many units. So we can have something like this with the brand new units Mose and Lingsha instead, or for a more free-to-play friendly option, we can use March and Galagear. But if you don't have Robin, all other limited 5-star harmonies will be good with her as well, especially Romay and Sparkle. So yeah, that does it. Feixiao is looking like an absolute monster in low target content. When you actually sit back and think for a bit, it almost feels like they just completely power crept up the ratio. In fact, even his Litecoin is a good option for Feixiao as well. Even though Ratio was literally given out for free, it is still a pretty funny situation, as almost everything he does, Feixiao just does it better. But honestly, even if she wasn't this good, I'll still go absolutely fair